I came home from my weekly bridge game to find my daughter Jennifer sitting at the kitchen table, crying into a tissue. My son-in-law Marcus stood behind her with his arms crossed, wearing that expression I'd come to know too well over the past 2 years. The expression that said he'd already made a decision and nothing I said would matter. "Mom," Jennifer started, but her voice cracked. Marcus cut her off. "Sarah, we need to talk. Jennifer and I have made a decision about your living situation." My heart dropped. I set my purse down slowly on the counter, buying myself a moment. My living situation? I live here. With you. With my grandchildren. "That's the thing," Marcus said, pulling out his phone and tapping the screen. "We found a wonderful facility. Golden Meadows Senior Living. It's only 20 minutes away, very clean, they have activities." "A nursing home?" I felt my legs go weak. "Marcus, I'm 69 years old. I'm healthy. I help with Emma and Noah. I cook. I clean. You're too old to be useful, Sarah." He said it so casually, like he was commenting on the weather. The kids need their own space. Jennifer needs to focus on her career. And honestly, having you here is becoming a burden. The word hung in the air. Burden. I looked at my daughter. "Jennifer?" She wouldn't meet my eyes. "Mom, maybe it's for the best. Just temporarily. Until we get the house renovated and—" "I already paid the first month," Marcus interrupted, showing me his phone screen. "A confirmation email. You move in Friday. I'll help you pack tomorrow." That was Monday. By Friday afternoon, I was sitting in a dingy room at Golden Meadows watching my daughter drive away without looking back. But Marcus made one critical mistake that day. He assumed that because I was old, I was powerless. And I was about to show him exactly how useful a 69-year-old retired teacher with a law degree and a very good memory could be. Let me back up. 2 years earlier, my husband David died suddenly of a heart attack. 43 years of marriage, gone in an instant. My daughter Jennifer begged me to move in with her family. "Mom, you can't be alone right now. Please. The kids miss you. We have plenty of room." At first it was wonderful. I'd wake up to 8-year-old Emma crawling into bed with me, asking me to braid her hair. 6-year-old Noah would drag me outside to push him on the swing. I helped Jennifer with dinner, did the laundry, made sure the kids did their homework. I felt needed. I felt alive again. Marcus worked long hours at his tech startup. He was always chasing the next big investment, the next round of funding. He'd come home late, barely say hello, wolf down his dinner, and disappear into his home office. Jennifer worked too, as a marketing director at a pharmaceutical company. Between both their careers and the kids' activities, I became the glue holding everything together. But about 6 months ago, things changed. Marcus started making little comments. "Sarah, maybe you could eat dinner in your room tonight. I need to talk to Jennifer about something private." Or, "The kids don't need you hovering over them constantly. They're not babies." Then the comments got sharper. "Do you have to watch TV so loud? Some of us are trying to work. Why are you always in the kitchen? Don't you have anything better to do? Jennifer, tell your mother she needs to stop rearranging my things." I tried to talk to Jennifer about it. "Honey, is Marcus upset with me about something?" She'd wave it off. "He's just stressed about work, Mom. Don't take it personally. You know how he gets." But I noticed other things too. Whispered arguments behind closed doors. Jennifer looking exhausted and anxious all the time. Bills piling up on the counter. And Marcus, always on his phone, always distracted, always angry. The day he told me about Golden Meadows, I was too shocked to argue. But lying in that nursing home bed that first night, staring at the water-stained ceiling tiles, something inside me hardened. This wasn't right. I was healthy. I was capable. And I'd lived through too much to let some entitled son-in-law discard me like yesterday's trash. I got up and looked around the room. It was tiny, maybe 10 feet by 10 feet. A narrow bed, a small dresser, a chair. The bathroom had mold around the shower tiles. The window overlooked a parking lot. This was supposed to be my home now? I pulled out my cell phone. First call, my lawyer, Robert Chen. We'd been friends since law school 40 years ago. He was semi-retired now, but sharp as ever. "Sarah, what's wrong?" His voice was concerned. I told him everything. When I finished, there was a long silence. "Sarah, Do you remember when David died? What arrangements you made for the house? Jennifer and I are co-owners. We put it in both our names for estate planning purposes. Why? Because that means Marcus can't sell it or refinance it without your signature. And if you're a co-owner, he can't force you out of your own home. My heart started beating faster. Robert, I need you to look into something else. Marcus has been acting strange about money. I want to know what he's been doing with Jennifer's finances. That might take some time, but I'll see what I can find. In the meantime, don't sign anything. And Sarah, start documenting everything. I hung up and sat down on that awful bed, my mind racing. I'd spent 30 years teaching high school English, and another 10 getting my law degree at night because David and I always believed in education, in preparing for the future. I'd passed the bar at 52 years old, just for the satisfaction of it. Never practiced, but I knew the law. Marcus thought I was just a helpless old woman. He was about to learn otherwise. The next morning I met the other residents at breakfast. The dining hall was depressing. Beige walls, fluorescent lights, the smell of overcooked vegetables and disinfectant. Most of the residents looked lost, confused. Many had dementia or serious health issues. This was a place for people who needed constant care, not for someone like me. I sat down next to a woman who introduced herself as Dorothy, 84, with bright eyes and a firm handshake. "You're new," she said, "and you look way too healthy to be in this dump." "Long story," I said. "How's the food?" "Terrible." "How's your family situation?" "Complicated." She leaned in. "Word of advice. Don't let them warehouse you here. I've been fighting to get out for 6 months, but my kids control my finances. You seem like you've got your wits about you. Don't let them take that away." Her words stayed with me. That afternoon I started keeping a journal. I documented everything. The cold showers because the water heater was broken. The medication mix-up that gave another resident the wrong pills. The staff shortage that left residents waiting hours for help. The expired food in the kitchen. And I started making phone calls. To the state health department. To adult protective services. To the local news. But my main focus was Marcus. Robert called me back 3 days later. "Sarah, sit down. I found something." "I'm already sitting. What is it?" Over the past 18 months, Marcus has been moving money out of Jennifer's accounts. Small amounts at first, then larger transfers. We're talking about nearly $200,000. Your husband's life insurance payout, Jennifer's inheritance, their joint savings, it's all gone. My blood ran cold. Where did it go? Into his business. His startup is failing, Sarah. He's been desperately trying to keep it afloat, and he's been using your family's money to do it. Without Jennifer's knowledge, based on the documents I'm seeing, he's forged her signature on several transfers. That's fraud. Yes, it is. What do I do? You could report it to the police. But Sarah, this will destroy Jennifer's marriage. Are you sure you want to go that route? I closed my eyes. My daughter. My sweet Jennifer, who'd begged me to live with them, who'd held my hand through David's funeral, who'd promised we'd always be a family. But then I thought about her face at that kitchen table, the way she wouldn't look at me, the way she'd let Marcus call me a burden. I want to talk to Jennifer first. Can you set up a meeting? I can try. But Sarah, Marcus can't know about this yet. If he realizes we're onto him, he might try to hide assets or skip town. I understand. That night I lay awake planning. But my planning was interrupted by a knock on my door. It was nearly 10 p.m. Who would visit this late? I opened the door to find Emma and Noah standing in the hallway in their pajamas. Behind them was Jennifer, looking pale and shaken. "Grandma!" Emma threw herself at me, sobbing. "I missed you so much." Noah wrapped his arms around my waist. "Dad said you didn't want to live with us anymore. He said you were happier here. But that's not true, is it, Grandma?" I looked at Jennifer over their heads. "What are you doing here?" She stepped inside and closed the door. When she spoke, her voice was barely a whisper. "He told me it was temporary. He told me you agreed to it. He told me you wanted to be around people your own age." Tears were streaming down her face now. "But Emma snuck into my phone and found your messages. The ones you've been sending me that I never saw because Marcus changed my notification settings. Mom, I didn't know. I swear I didn't know you were so unhappy." I didn't know he'd been deleting your calls and texts. My hands started shaking. Jennifer, we need to talk. Somewhere private. Can you take the kids to the car for a minute? They can stay with Dorothy next door. She's still awake. Jennifer herded the kids out, and they came back a few minutes later. Just the two of us. I told her everything. About Robert's investigation. About the money. About the fraud. Jennifer's face went from pale to grey. She sat down hard on the bed. No, that's not possible. Marcus wouldn't. Jennifer. I sat beside her and took her hand. Think about it. The stress. The anger. The way he's been acting. When did it start? She was quiet for a long moment. About 18 months ago. Right after his company lost that big contract. He said everything was fine, that he had other investors lined up, but… She looked up at me. Oh my God. Mom, what do I do? First, you get me out of here. Tonight. Then we go home. And we sit down with Robert tomorrow. We figure out exactly how much he's taken and where it went, and then… I squeezed her hand. Then you decide what kind of future you want for yourself and those kids. Jennifer stood up, suddenly decisive. Let's go. Right now. I'm taking you home. What about Marcus? He's at a conference in Seattle until Sunday. We have 2 days. We packed my few belongings in 10 minutes. I said goodbye to Dorothy, who gave me a fierce hug and whispered, "Go get him." Then Jennifer, the kids, and I walked out of Golden Meadows, and I swore I'd never set foot in a place like that again unless I absolutely had to. The house felt different when we walked in. Bigger. Emptier. Jennifer put the kids to bed, and we stayed up until 3 a.m., going through files, bank statements, emails. Everything Robert had found was true. Worse, actually. Marcus had also taken out a second mortgage on the house without Jennifer's knowledge, forging her signature again. He can't do that, I said. I'm a co-owner. That mortgage is invalid. Jennifer put her head in her hands. Mom, I've been so stupid. So blind. He kept telling me we needed to keep our finances separate for tax purposes. He said he was handling everything. I trusted him. Jennifer, this is not your fault. He's a con artist, a skilled one. But we're going to fix this. Saturday morning, Robert came to the house. He brought a forensic accountant and a detective he knew from the district attorney's office. We spent 6 hours going through everything. By the end, the picture was clear. Marcus had stolen over $220,000. His startup was bankrupt. He'd been planning to sell the house out from under us, take the money, and disappear. The nursing home wasn't about space or convenience. It was about getting me out of the way so he could forge Jennifer's signature without me interfering. We have enough to press charges, the detective said. Mrs. Patterson, Mrs. Richardson, are you willing to cooperate with a criminal investigation? Jennifer looked at me. I looked at the photos of Emma and Noah on the mantel. I thought about them asking me why Daddy said I didn't want to live with them anymore. Yes, we said together. Marcus came home Sunday night at 8 p.m. He walked in the door, saw me sitting on the couch and froze. What are you doing here? I live here, Marcus. This is my house. Jennifer, I told you. Sit down. Jennifer's voice was steel. I'd never heard her sound like that. We need to talk. He tried to bluster, tried to lie, tried to turn it around on us. But we had everything. Bank records, forged signatures, emails to investors promising returns on money that didn't exist. The invalid second mortgage. When we finished laying it all out, his face had gone from red to white. You can't prove any of this, he said finally. Robert stood up from where he'd been sitting quietly in the corner. Actually, we can. Hello, Marcus. I'm Sarah's attorney, and I've already filed a complaint with the district attorney's office. There are 2 detectives waiting outside to take you in for questioning. The next few weeks were chaos. Marcus was arrested and charged with fraud, forgery, and elder abuse for dumping me in that nursing home. His company officially declared bankruptcy. Jennifer filed for divorce. The hardest part was explaining it to the kids. Emma cried for days. Noah kept asking when Daddy was coming home. But kids are resilient. And they had Jennifer and me, and we weren't going anywhere. Jennifer and I had a long, hard conversation one night about a month after Marcus's arrest. Mom, I'm so sorry. I should have stood up for you. I should have seen what he was doing. Jennifer, he was manipulating you, isolating you. That's what abusers do. I let him convince me you were a burden. I let him send you to that place. I'll never forgive myself for that. I took her face in my hands. Listen to me. You came back. When you knew the truth, you came back. That's what matters. We're going to be okay. All of us. And we were. It took time. Jennifer went to therapy. The kids went to therapy. I went back to teaching part-time at the community college because I realized I'd missed it. Missed feeling useful. The house sold eventually. Jennifer and I split the proceeds and bought a smaller place together. Emma and Noah have their rooms. I have mine. We share the kitchen and the living room, and sometimes on Saturday mornings we all pile into my bed and watch cartoons like we used to. Marcus pleaded guilty to avoid trial. He got 3 years in prison, 5 years probation. He has to pay restitution, though we'll probably never see most of that money. But that's okay. We're doing fine. Golden Meadows got shut down 6 months after I left. Turns out my complaints to the state triggered an investigation, and they found violations everywhere. I like to think I saved some other families from making the mistake Jennifer almost made. Emma's 10 now. Noah's 8. They're thriving. Emma told me last week she wants to be a lawyer when she grows up, like great-grandpa David and me. Because you helped Mom when she needed it, she said. You stood up to Dad even though he was mean to you. I told her the truth. Baby, standing up for yourself isn't about being brave. It's about knowing your worth. And I'm too old and too stubborn to let anyone tell me I'm useless. She hugged me tight. You're not useless, Grandma. You're the most useful person I know. Looking back, I realized Marcus actually did me a favor. Before all of this, I'd been drifting, mourning David, trying to fill my days, trying to feel needed. But going through this fight reminded me who I was. A teacher, a lawyer, a mother and grandmother, a woman who doesn't back down when someone tries to push her around. I'm 71 now. I teach 3 classes a week. I volunteer at a legal aid clinic helping other elderly people navigate estate planning. I garden. I read. I travel. And every night, I tuck my grandchildren into bed and tell them stories about their grandfather, about their family, about standing up for what's right. Jennifer is dating again. Someone nice. Someone who treats her well. Someone who respects me. We take it slow. We've learned our lessons. Sometimes I drive past Golden Meadows. It's empty now, windows boarded up. And every time, I think about that first night, lying on that thin mattress, staring at the water-stained ceiling. Marcus told me I was too old to be useful, that I was a burden, that my time was over. He was wrong. My time isn't over. It's just beginning. And I'm more useful now than I've ever been. Not because I cook and clean and watch the kids, though I do those things, but because I survived, because I fought back. Because I showed my daughter and my grandchildren that you're never too old to stand up for yourself, to demand respect, to rebuild your life. Some people think getting older means becoming invisible, becoming powerless, becoming disposable. Those people have never met a 71-year-old woman with a law degree, a spine of steel, and nothing left to lose. Marcus learned that lesson the hard way. And I hope my story teaches someone else something valuable. Never underestimate a grandmother. We're old, yes, but we're not finished. Not by a long shot. We're just getting started.